Welcome to another episode. Today, we have a Reddit read. And this guy, I kind of feel where he's coming from. In fact, before I get into that, don't forget to like, share, comment, and tell me what you think about these Reddit reads. Alright, so let's get into it. The title is, Neither Child Wants Me. Ugh. I'm already hurting. Just from hearing that statement, I'm already hurting. The title may be a little dramatic, but I'm having a tough time right now. I have a 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl, and they are both in phases where they only want their mother. Anytime I try to step in and help in any situation, my 3-year-old screams, "I don't want my dada," or "Go away, I want mama." And my 1-year-old just leaps out of my arms towards her mom whenever I pick her up. Have any other fathers dealt with something like this? I really try not to let it bother me, but I can't help but feel I'm doing something wrong. I don't yell at my kids or do anything that I feel like should make them want to avoid me, but sometimes I can't help but question if I'm just doing everything wrong. I'm already somebody who has a hard time with their self-esteem, and this just takes a toll some days. I also feel sorry for my wife since she always has to deal with their tantrums and is just constantly being needed by both kids. Listen, I feel you. That would hurt me too. Matter of fact, well, let's break this down. Okay, let's go in here, let's go line by line, and let's just try to figure everything out and then come up with a strategy for this guy so he can be able to, feel wanted by his kids. Maybe we can work something out here. Now, so the first line goes, say he has a 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl, and they're both in phases where they want their mother. Okay, I don't know if this is a phase. Now, I have been in a situation where my son, once I took custody of my son, he was not used to being with me. And there was a consistent struggle between him and I where he would yell at me and say he doesn't want to be with me, he wants to be with his mother. Now, granted, my situation is a little different because I had took my son from his mother through child support court because she was living in a shelter. And before she was living in the shelter, she came and picked him up so she could get into the shelter. So she wanted to get into the mother and kids shelter, so she needed him in order to do that while still taking care of him. Now that's another story. But after that whole transition, when I would pick him up for school on Fridays because she failed to pick him up, or Thursdays because she failed to pick him up when he was at pre-K, and from the times where he was supposed to be with her on the weekends, he wasn't supposed to be with me, or just the whole transition that we had to go through, it was consistently where my mother at, why my mom isn't here. And we didn't have that the first time. So when he came to me the first time, when she wanted him to come live with me until she could get on her feet, we didn't have the, I don't want to be with you, I want to be with my mommy. We didn't have that. We would sit back, we would watch cartoons together, I would cook a meal, he would eat, and then, he would lay down at a particular time and he would go to sleep. And that's pretty much what was our routine. Now, when he left, stayed in the shelter, and then came and lived with me, then there was these behaviors that he developed. And it was I don't want to be with you, I want to be with my mom. Why are you here? And that type of thing that I had to go through. Now, I can't really state that it was a phase. I mean, it was something that he went through, but I thought he was traumatized by something he had seen when he was in the shelter or something he had went through. And that's why he was acting out, having this behavior. And maybe through seeing his mother going through whatever situation they were going through while in the shelter, it kind of changed his perspective or his perception of his mom, and felt like that he needed to protect her, or that she needed him more, or however the case is. Now in this situation, I wonder how long the 3-year-old boy has been acting like this. Or is this something that he had picked up since his sister been around? Now the 3-year-old could be acting out because he realized that the sister was getting more attention than he was from the mother. Because maybe she was breastfeeding, maybe she was, catering to the child a lot more and playing with the dad, a little bit more, or just playing by herself. And now all of a sudden, when a new child comes into the picture, now it's, now I want mommy's attention. No, you can't have mommy's attention because, no, I want to have mommy's attention. And now it's a fight for that attention because now they're both competing. So when new kids come into the picture, the oldest one, the one that's already there, is either going to be accepting of the new child or is going to be rebellious against the new child. That reminds me when my brother came home. I have 4 siblings. So when the second oldest came home, I wasn't all that accepting. I wasn't hateful towards him. I wasn't mean towards him or anything. I loved him. I catered to him and everything. But I stopped getting attention. And I was such a loner where it was absolutely fine that I stopped getting attention. I was actually okay with it. But other things started to occur too, where things around the house started to change, where I had to start doing chores and start learning new routines that I wasn't used to. So I developed a new behavior. I developed a behavior of, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Oh, you want to put me on punishment? Fine. Take my TV. I'll read a book. I developed a whole new attitude because the environment around me changed, all because my brother came around. And thinking about it now, without him actually coming around, I wouldn't have been so ambitious to, honestly, move out on my own and get away than I was had he not been born. I still would have been a spoiled little child and kind of just in my own little world and be great about it, okay? So in this situation, what I think is happening is the 3-year-old is acting out because the 1-year-old is not in the picture. And the girl is getting more attention, or the attention that he was getting, but now he's no longer getting. And he loved the attention that he was getting from the mom, but now that the 1-year-old is getting the attention, now the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old are fighting for attention for the mother. Boom. There you go. So, I think that's the case because I'm wondering, before they had the 1-year-old girl, how was at that time he probably was 2 years old. How was the 2-year-old boy acting? And then the other question I have is, how do they act towards each other? Like, are they nice to each other? Are they nice nasty to each other? Like, I'm trying to gather a sense of, that friction between both of them and them both going for their mother's attention. I really think it's a competition thing. So when the 1-year-old girl is getting more attention than the 3-year-old boy, then the 3-year-old boy starts to, act up or try to get into the mother's face. And by them not wanting the dad, it's probably more so the dad probably not always being around. So the wife was always kind of there, giving both of them a certain level of attention. So it sounds like, this is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like his wife is a stay-at-home mother and he goes to work. The 3-year-old boy was getting a lot of attention from the mother. A lot of attention. And then dad will come home and probably give him a little attention or so forth. Then the wife got pregnant again. And I believe it's his wife. I'm saying wife like I know it's his wife. So we just gonna say wife. I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend or not. But we gonna say his wife. So then the wife has, she gets pregnant again, and now she's about to have another kid. So I wonder what was going on during her pregnancy. How was the boy acting then? And what was the connection with the father and the son? Now, from there, once the newborn baby was born, and for that year was getting all the attention, whether it's being breastfed, whether it was powdered milk, whatever the case is, was getting all that attention, and the boy wasn't getting all the attention that the little girl was getting. So now that the little girl is 1 year old, she's a little bit more aware, a little bit more perceptive, and notices that the brother, her brother, the little boy, wants the mother's attention too. So now that dad's home and dad is like, okay, well, I want to hold the baby, I want to do this, I want to do that, and they're just like, no, we don't want to be bothered with you. We want to be bothered with mommy because mommy is the one that's always here. Mommy is the one that's always getting us all that attention. So we want to kind of deal with her. We don't want to deal with you because this is who we spend all our time with. This is who we grown accustomed to, and this is who we grown accustomed to being with. Because we're with her all day, and here you come about to spoil the fun because she's been nice to us, she's been feeding us and dealing with us and reading to us and doing all this stuff. And here you want to come and take us away from all the fun. Regardless of how tired mommy is, you come in and take us away from all the fun. We don't want to be taken for fun. And in that thing, right, and in that right there, you realize that she is the sun, to their night. She brightens their day. Where does that place you? Well, this is where you're gonna really have to kind of like dig in, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay. So anytime that this person steps in, what ends up happening is that the 3-year-old screams, I don't want dada, or go away, or I want mama, and my 1-year-old just leaps out of my arms towards his mom, whatever. So in that situation, they're leaping out, they're running away from you and everything. I think in this situation, you need to really spend some time with like some weekends, with each one of them, with the mother, not in another room or something like that. Like, take the little boy and go be in a room. Now he's gonna cry, he's gonna fight, he's gonna kick, he's gonna everything, and you're gonna have to like make it fun and make it entertaining and do all of that stuff. So he needs to go into that room. As I was saying, go into that room and have that one-on-one time and make it really, really fun. You have to make it really, really fun because he's gonna cry, he's gonna kick, he's gonna scream, he's gonna try to gnaw down the door down and everything. And you really gotta be able to rein them in and say, listen, like, come on, let's play a game together, and they're gonna fight until they wear themselves out. When they wear themselves out, gotta be there to comfort them and hold them and mold them, because you gotta get them used to you. And I know it sounds like, oh man, that's kind of cruel, MG, but you gotta get them a little bit more used to you, because if you don't have that one-on-one time with them, and every time they see their mother, they're gonna run and everything, need to go chase their mom. I've been there before, holding my son. He see his mom, he would fall all out your arms and everything. Like, I've seen it, I've been there. So you really gotta take them away from their comfort zone and just kind of soothe them and get them kind of familiar with you, especially if you're not around as much. So you gotta be able to sit there and just say, you know what, let me just go ahead and just, if you got the 1-year-old, if she's in the crib or the playpen, before the mom comes in, if she's doing fine with just dealing with you, you take her up and take her into another room so she don't see the mom, so she's not jumping out your arm and chasing. Because once she see her mom, she gonna be like, oh, I can go hang with mom. I can go hang with mom. But you don't want to see your mom. And I've seen it time and time again. As soon as the baby see the more familiar or the parent that they're with the most, that's who they want to go jump around and hang with. And it's not every child, but it's some kids. So you want to be able to say like, oh, well, I took her in the room, patted her, played with her a little bit and everything, and did that stuff. So let's go a little further. Have any other father have dealt with this? I'm pretty sure other fathers have dealt with this. I'm sure it's not new or a common occurrence that these things happen. But, as I said, you probably gotta have that one-on-one with the kid. That's essential and important, to have that one-on-one conversation and have that one-on-one playtime, just so they can get a little bit more familiar with who you are. Take them into a room, watch Sesame Street or some ABCs or Cocomelon, I don't know, and just play with them so they can find some comfortability, especially if you're not in the house a lot. And then to find that kind of comfortability. I don't know what you do, I don't know what you do. I'm going based on what the post is telling me, and that's kind of what it's insinuating. It's not a lot of details here. I mean, there's never a lot of details in any of these posts, but I'm kind of going by what some of these posts are kind of just giving me right now. So what else? It said, can't help but feel like you're doing something wrong. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. Like I said, I really think in this situation, it's more so the kids are more familiar with the mother than they are with you. And that may or may not be the case, but this kind of what this article lead me to. Leave it in the comments if you're thinking something else. If you think that it could be anything else than what I'm telling you, I'm always open to other ideas and perspectives. But just from reading this article, I really think that the father works a lot of hours, or just works, and then the mother is there all the time. So they're just more familiar with the mother than they are with him. So that makes it a little bit more of the situation where they want to spend more time with the mom, and then they're also probably competing because they're still young. So they're probably competing for her attention, because the boy is used to her having attention, and then the daughter is now getting a lot of attention. And to this guy that wrote this, they will get past this. I can't really say, and I guess you could consider it a phase. I know I said earlier that I don't think it's a phase, but I guess you consider it a phase. But eventually they'll get past this, and they may still fight for their mother's attention. That's what they're accustomed to if they're around her all the time. So let's see what else you have here. You say you don't yell at your kids or do anything that you make them feel they should avoid you. But sometimes you can't help but question if you're doing everything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Even if you did yell at your kids, I don't think that, that would change anything. I yelled at my son a few times when he was acting up. That ain't no big thing. Kids are hard-headed, so sometimes you do gotta yell at them. You talk at them with a soft voice, they still don't think they can get away with it. But if you put some authority in your voice, they gonna shake, tremble, and they gonna stop what they doing. Especially if you throw a cuss word in there, they really gonna stop, tremble, and they just gonna be like, you know what, I'm done, I won't do it no more, I won't touch it, just don't hit me. That's gonna be their mindset. So keep that in mind. But you're not doing, like I said, you're not doing anything wrong. I can't stress that enough. You're not doing anything wrong. You're good. You're in great company. I can tell you that right now. I'm pretty sure there are many fathers that out there, whether they're in the home or not, that have went through the same situation and have gotten past it. And in some cases, they may not have gotten past it. They ain't kids that became teenagers, and because they're so familiar with their mom, they don't want to go to their dad's house because they don't want that structure, because they have been ingrained with that femininity. I said it the best way I could. They have been ingrained with that female energy sometimes, that they don't want to deal with their father. They don't want to deal with a male figure. They want to consult with women, and it doesn't make them, it doesn't change their sexual orientation or anything like that, or make them gay or nothing like that. It's just they just deal with what they're familiar with. So sometimes it just doesn't happen when they're kids. It also happen when they're older. You go to your father's house, you don't want to be over there because you're not familiar with it, so you want to go back to your mom's house where you're more familiar, you're more comfortable at, you're more comfortable with. So you have those type of situations. And then what it says, I'm already somebody who has a hard time dealing with self-esteem. Now there, I can understand why this is really hitting hard. because it's messing with your self-esteem. But I can assure you, like, they're kids. They don't know any better. You have to really remember and consider that. They don't know no better. So everything that they're doing, they're not doing it fully aware of your emotions and how you feel. They're only going based off of what their desire is. And their desire is, I want to be with mama. I want to hang around mama. I want mama to hold me. I'm always with mama. That's the only thing that they're going based on. So they're not going based off of whatever they're doing is not logical. So you can't input logic on some kids. Okay? I understand how you feel. And the only way you can go ahead and combat that is, like I said earlier, is you're going to have to kind of steal them away when they're not paying attention to mama and just kind of have that one-on-one time with them. Because it sounds like when they see their mother, that's when they want to run and jump to her. But you have to kind of pry them away when the mother is not around, where they're just kind of being preoccupied by something else, playing with something else. You just kind of, hey, let's go in the room and, have some fun, talk. Let's go in here and watch the basketball game, watch the football game, something like that. Find something a little bit more active to do. So when you do that, you kind of take their attention from their mother and kind of just say, okay, well, now we're doing our own little activity, but you can't let them see the mother, because if they see the mother, even if she just peeks to the door, they're going to get up and run towards her as if like she called them or something like that. So I understand she's dealing with the tantrums and everything like that, but that's the best that I come up with the little bit of information that I have. So, hey, make sure you go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'm M&G. I'll catch you on the next go around. Peace.